Hi, I'm Nita Strauss from the Alice Cooper Band, and you are on Heavy One.
What's it like playing with such a living legend?
It's really an honor. Truly, truly an honor. You know, it's every day I wake up and I think how lucky I am to get this opportunity to travel the world and play these iconic songs and work with the best band out there. You know, Ryan and Tommy and Chuck and Glenn are some of the best musicians that you can ask for to play with, so I just feel really blessed.
And Alice introduces you on stage as our princess, which can be perceived in many ways. So what kind of princess do you think you are?
I love that. You know, I feel a little bit like the princess of the band. You know, the guys treat me sort of like as the little sister. You know, everybody takes great care of me, and but I like to think I'm a princess that stands on her own 2 feet and gets stuff done. I'm more of a Princess Leia than a princess in the tower.
Oh, which Alice Cooper song do you enjoy playing the most?
You know, this tour is full of my favorite Alice Cooper songs. You know, we were doing a lot of the 80s stuff, the King Roberts era stuff. We're doing Roses on White Lace, Teenage Frankenstein. We're doing Bed of Nails, which is a great, you know, shreddy 80s song. So those 3 are really, really fun for me.
And what is the hardest one to play? What took you the longest to learn?
You know, it may surprise people to hear this because everybody knows I've been championing and trying to play this song for so long. Roses on White Lace is really difficult. The solo is actually really challenging. There's certain things in the solo that I actually couldn't figure out. And I'm really grateful that actually I got to ask Kane Roberts, who played the original guitar solo. I sent him a text. I was like, how did you do this? And he actually told me, so I play it just the same way that he does.
Do you bring your own touch to the songs?
I try to, yeah. I think it's well, I wouldn't even say so much that I try. I think as an artist, you have your own voice, whether you try or not. But I also, what I really do try to do is give the songs, especially the old school songs, the respect that they deserve. You know, songs like Billion Dollar Babies, I try to play the solo exactly as it is on the record and, you know, pay a tribute to the great original solo that's there.
What do you think you bring to the band as a female musician?
I think it's cool having the dynamic of a female on stage, you know, playing off of Alice. You know, his wife, Cheryl, is actually in the show as well, and she's been the dancer in the show for a long time. His daughter, Calico, was also in the show, so he's always sort of had a strong female figure to play off, and now that there's Cheryl and myself, it's kind of like double trouble. But I think it's really cool to have that, and you know, you can do these sort of, you know, side-to-side, back-to-back moves that look cool with a male and female standing next to each other. Oh, can I add something? Sorry.
Sure.
I think it's, I don't want to say it the wrong way, and I almost didn't want to say it because I don't want to, you know, be arrogant about it. But one thing that I think is great that I can bring to the table in this band is showing the next generation of female guitar players that you can go out there and be a hired guitar player for somebody big. You know, I don't really know of anyone else that's in my position doing that. And I don't mean to say like I'm doing it and no one else is, you know, because Jennifer did it first and did it best. And we're all just aspiring to Jennifer Batten's amazingness. But there's not a lot of people, you know, the great musicians that are out there, you know, pop singers and rock singers, a lot of them don't have a hired female lead guitarist. And maybe it's your dream to play with Lady Gaga. Maybe it's your dream to play with Pink. Maybe it's your dream to play with someone like Alice Cooper. And I'm glad that, you know, people like me and Orianthi and Jennifer Batten can stand proudly and say, we did it and so can you.
Well, you mentioned Orianthi. Well, she was your predecessor
Yes.
in his band. What was it like taking over from her?
You know, I hadn't met her, so it wasn't like there was a real passing of the torch. So I think the internet and the world made a bigger deal out of it than it was, you know, because we're very different guitar players, and she is so incredibly talented and so amazing at what she does, and I don't do what she does well. You know, she does the blues stuff and the, you know, her style. I don't play like that. You know, there are, besides the blonde hair and, you know, the white skin, there's not much similar about us as guitar players, so I found it really confusing that there were so many comparisons drawn, like, oh, this is what Ori did, and this is what Nita did, and this is Nita's taking over from Ori for this spot, you know, and now we know each other and we're great friends, and we just laugh at the people that try to put us in competition with each other, because there's no competition, it's just the scene. We're just elevating the scene.
Yeah, they saw 2 blonde, pretty girls.
Yeah, so they must be in competition. And the funny thing is, you know, all the female guitar players that I know, Courtney Cox, Gretchen Menn, Irene Kitakiti, Yvette Young, Sarah Longfield, Jen Majora, you know, we love each other. We're so supportive of each other. If somebody releases a song or a video, if you look in the comments, the first 10 you'll see are all the other female guitar players going, yeah, girl, go do it. You sound amazing. Like, cool video, great stuff. Like, we love each other. We just want to create an awesome, supportive, inclusive scene. No one's going, well, she did that, I'm going to do it better. And we love each other.
It's a sisterhood.
Sisterhood, exactly.
And you released Controlled Chaos through crowdfunding. Was that important for you to go through crowdfunding? Why did you choose that platform?
You know, I loved the idea of making an album that was purely my expression. And I thought if I went to a record label, they would tell me, well, you have to get a singer, or even worse, you have to learn to sing, which nobody wants. You know, you have to write a certain way, it has to sound a certain way. And I did the crowdfunding because I wanted it to be purely my voice, my concept, my idea. And the crowdfunding did exactly that. It helped me make that statement. And then actually we ended up releasing it through a record label who really got the vision. We gave them a fully completed product. They released it exactly as I imagined it. So I got definitely very much the best of both worlds.
So what is Controlled Chaos? Because when I hear that, I think, well, it's controlled, it's chaos, so
Yes.
It must be just music, basically.
Right. You know, I think it can mean different things to different people, but to me, the concept of controlled chaos is kind of like, look, life is chaotic. And you can either just lay down and let the chaos take you over, or you can control that chaos and make something beautiful out of it. And the controlling and the harnessing of the craziness and chaos of my life is what became that album.
Well, you're an incredible guitar player.
Thank you.
How old were you when you started?
I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you practice a lot?
I practiced nonstop. Yeah, I was definitely that kid that would not put down the guitar. I brought the guitar to school. If we had 10 minutes between classes, I played guitar for 8 minutes. You know, I would sit by myself at lunch. I didn't have a lot of friends in my school. I would sit alone on the bleachers and practice guitar for the lunch hour. Then I'd get home and practice guitar at home. So definitely I was nonstop playing.
Was there a pivotal moment where you said, I want to do that for a living?
Really, honestly, like pretty shortly after I started playing, I fell in love with the guitar, and I just thought this is all I've ever wanted to do. And I realized, you know, as I said, I was an awkward kid. I didn't have a lot of friends. I wasn't very social, and I realized that when I played guitar, I could speak. When I played guitar, I could express myself much better than I did with words. If I would play guitar, people could listen, and I fell in love with that.
Who were your favorite guitar players?
Steve Vai is the reason that I started playing guitar. And, you know, so many of the Ibanez players, you know, Paul Gilbert, Joe Satriani, who else? Marty Friedman, and not all Ibanez guys, obviously. Marty Friedman, Jason Becker. I've always been really drawn to guitar players that make technical guitar playing sound fun. So not just like so many notes, but just make it sound like, that sounds cool, I want to do that.
You're related to Johann Strauss. Can you play the waltz on guitar?
You know, I have not really attempted it. We tossed around the idea of doing something like that on my solo tour. So I think we may revisit that concept in the future.
It's in your blood, obviously.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. It doesn't really lend itself that well to the phrasing of a guitar, but I love the idea so much that I think we're definitely going to have to do that sometime in the future.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
You initially gained fame through, the Iron Maiden cover band, the Iron Maidens.
Right.
Will you continue in the future?
Oh, I haven't played with them in 7 years. Yeah, it's been a really long time. I played with a lot of bands before that, and I have my solo music now, so I think I'll really just do Alice and my solo music.
So that was just, it's in the past now.
I think, they're touring. They have a guitar player that's playing in my place that's been there for 6 or 7 years, so it's not really my gig to go back to. It's not like an empty spot saying, hey, if you ever want to come back, it's yours. They have a great, Nikki Stringfield has been playing the Dave Murray parts for that band for a very long time, so I think it wouldn't be my place to step in and say, hey, I'm back,
If you could ask Bruce Dickinson one question, what would it be?
How do you fly that plane? No, and I would like to ask him this actually. Bruce is one of the most energetic performers I've ever seen. And people always ask me, how do you get your energy on stage? So I would like to ask Bruce, how do you get your energy on stage?
Healthy living, I guess.
Absolutely. A little less healthy today, but...
Well, on your Instagram account, it's very like inspirational, and you have a lot of healthy tips and things like that. Is that important to you, to reconcile healthy living with touring, because touring is grueling on the body? I think it's really important. Yeah, I don't think that you can function at a high level if you don't take care of your body. You have to fuel your machine well in order to function at a high level. If your car needs premium gas, put premium gas in it. So yeah, of course, I'm always trying to show my followers on social media that you can live a healthy life and live a rock and roll life. And if you want to drink and party and play rock and roll, that's cool too. But if you don't want to, you can do it the way I do, and you can wake up and work out, eat clean, enjoy a pizza now and then, or ice cream here and there. But for the most part, just eat clean and eat healthy and take good care of yourself. You only get one body in this life. Who did you grow up listening to, like female artists? Did you have a female icon?
Honestly, I didn't have hardly any female influences. And it's not because they didn't exist, it's because they weren't in the forefront. I was drawn to the shredding, the technique, the over-the-top solos of the guitar players I mentioned, like Vi and Satriani. And, these great guitar players like Jennifer Batten and Michelle Meldrum, they weren't in the front of the guitar scene. It wasn't really easy to get exposed to them. So I didn't really have a female guitar idol until I saw, many years later, a video of Jennifer Batten playing at the Super Bowl with Michael Jackson. And I remember watching this video on YouTube and thinking, oh my gosh, like she's so cool with huge blonde hair and there's so much confidence walking around and playing so fast. And I was like, there's somebody doing it. But before that, I thought it was kind of just me. I was like, okay, if no one else is doing it, then I'll do it.
Do you think a female guitar player is now more accepted by her male peers, by the industry?
I think it's definitely not as weird. I remember when I first started touring and playing shows, people would say, okay guys, all the girlfriends have to leave, the dressing room's for band members only. And when I would stay seated, they're like, you too? I was like, I'm not a girlfriend, I'm in the band. And it was just so incomprehensible to people that I could be there, be a pretty girl in the room and not be someone's girlfriend. And now it's totally normal. You go into a guitar center, you see girls working in every, guitar shop, you see girls working in every department, pedals, accessories, guitars, keyboards, drums. You go to festivals, you see girls on every stage, singers, bass players, keyboard players, drummers, guitar players, doing every role. Female tour managers, female front of house, female light designers. So it's normal, it's not just like, it's a girl. Everyone point out the obvious fact. It's just kind of normal now.
Well, you think there's a rise in young female rock musicians?
I think there is, definitely. I'm really glad every time, I'll play a show and then maybe the next day on social media or Instagram or Facebook, we'll get a comment from a parent who says, I brought my 5-year-old daughter to see Alice Cooper last night and now she asked for a guitar for Christmas. And if I can do that one time from every show, then I think we're in good shape. The future is very strong.
What are your projects after this tour? What are your plans for 2020?
So at the moment, I'm working on my second album. I wrote the majority of Controlled Chaos while I was on the previous Alice Cooper tour, so I'm falling right back into the pattern of writing my album on days off. I've got my Pro Tools rig out here, so I'm just writing and recording, and we'll do some more clinics, do some more solo touring, do some more touring with Alice, and then I'm hopeful for a second album release in late 2020.
And you're not going to sing?
No. I want people to enjoy it, so I'm not going to sing.